Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back yet again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys. And man, fall winter is just around the corner. I know that I still have a bunch of spring summer perfumes out there to talk about. Still freaking hot out there, guys. But if you're thinking ahead like me, fall winter is just around the corner, and today I will be talking about, this is currently unreleased but it's about to release next month, the latest By Kilian fragrance, guys, for the fall winter season. And if you know Kilian, this is their bread and butter. Fall winter is the bread and butter of By Kilian. I will be talking about their latest fragrance today. Let's get it. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel. Guys, thank you for your support. We are headed towards 18,000 subscribers. It's definitely free on your end to like and subscribe to the channel if you're into no hype breakdowns, full breakdowns of fragrances, not spending half of the video talking about the bottle. Okay, please do not forget to like and subscribe and support the channel. And the fragrance that we will be talking about today is none other than the latest By Kilian release. This is none other than Smoking Hot. Yes, Smoking Hot from By Kilian. First and foremost, I do want to thank my homie MD from the New York store for sending this sample ahead of time, and I will drop his details, email, phone down below if you guys want to hit him up for a pre-order of this fragrance as well as other Kilian fragrances, guys. Of course, I haven't tried all of them, so MD is a great resource to ask about these other fragrances that maybe you haven't seen on this channel and the stuff that you have seen on this channel, and he is really a great person altogether. So MD, thank you very much. Hit him up for an order for this one right here. Now, this fragrance, Smoking Hot, I got pretty excited about this fragrance. Why? Because like I said, fall winter season is By Kilian season. I mean, no disrespect to their spring summer releases, but really when it's fall winter, this is when By Kilian is dominant. I mean, really, we're thinking about what? Black Phantom, Intoxicated, Straight to Heaven Extreme, and Smoking Hot is the latest addition to that mix right there. And if you look at the notes of Smoking Hot, it seems like it's a bunch of notes that we kind of already know, that we're familiar with for the fall winter season, but it seems like it's greatly structured. It seems like a great structure for a fall winter fragrance. And so today, guys, I will be giving you guys the lowdown on this fragrance, scent development, performance, how I really feel this fragrance fits in any collection. Anyways, let's spray this thing right now. I'm only gonna go with 3 sprays. When I did 6 sprays, it was pretty powerful. Okay guys, now let's talk about By Kilian's Smoking Hot. Right here at the top notes, let's discuss that. Right at the top, you are going to get apple, hookah, cinnamon, as well as the early appearance of smoky caramelized tobacco right here, guys, okay? Now, if you look at this top and you smell this fragrance, there is some familiarity right here because apple and cinnamon are actually well-known combinations in fall winter fragrances. I mean, definitely this is a really nice, sweet, spicy concoction, and there is a smoky nuance as well because it's an apple steam accord, guys, okay? So again, it's gonna be your sweet, spicy mix of apple and cinnamon. Nothing really new. However, the note or attribute that Smoking Hot has that's kind of different in this case, guys, is the appearance of that caramelized tobacco. And actually, before I even looked at any literature about this fragrance, that was the first thing that I really took notice of, because I already know about the apple cinnamon mix, but this caramelized tobacco was the differentiator in this fragrance right here. Now, I know what you're thinking, guys. Apple, cinnamon, spice, and smoke. Some of y'all are probably thinking about Mancera's red tobacco, right? I mean, that is kind of like the combination of red tobacco right here. I will say this though, that it is different, okay, in the sense that Mancera red tobacco focuses on a really strong nuclear start with really a lot more spice compared to this one right here that only has a low-key cinnamon, okay? The cinnamon right here is kind of like a lingering, low-grade, spicy cinnamon that's actually underlying as you smell the apple and that caramelized tobacco note. And also, although this fragrance is potent on the sillage, especially in the beginning, guys. I feel like this fragrance is very undercover and very smooth compared to something like red tobacco, where red tobacco is kind of like, here I am, guys, here's all the attention, I want to get all the smoke right here. But when it comes to this fragrance, Smoking Hot, it is definitely smooth and underlying, kind of like a smooth operator. And I would say like those are the differences compared to something like red tobacco if you're looking at notes on paper and comparing them. Now this fragrance, Smoking Hot, as I've said, the thing that I really took notice of was that caramelized tobacco mix, that mix right there, guys. And it did remind me of one of my favorite fall winter fragrances, guys, and that's Bond New Harlem. Yes, Bond New Harlem was a super hit back in the day, and that's why I guess Bond retroed it last year, I believe, or 2 years ago. But this fragrance has a very similar caramelized smell, kind of like that maple syrup thick smell, syrupy, thick, sugary, right here in the mix on top of that smoky tobacco right there, guys. And so that is something that is different with this fragrance, that combines the sweet spice of apple and cinnamon and tobacco plus that maple syrup smell. And that's really the intro of By Kilian Smoking Hot. It is pretty lovely. It uses components of other fragrances that are really successful. I really love it. Okay, now let's talk about the sillage and projection, that initial performance from By Kilian Smoking Hot. Now, normally with fragrances like this, apple, cinnamon, sweet, spicy, with a little bit of that maple syrup, guys, it's usually a draw-in scent, okay? It's a lingering draw-in scent. However, as I've said, with 6 sprays of this, which I think that's like the standard from the bottle, you are gonna get a scent trail. That's right, and I'm thinking it's from that apple hookah accord plus that tobacco smoke. You are gonna get a scent trail from this fragrance. So that is something that if you are into that, you wanna walk across the room and captivate people around you slowly and then get them to come in, draw them in with that apple cinnamon spice, guys. You can do it with this fragrance thanks to that smoky scent trail that brings them in and then eventually gets them with that sweet spicy mix. Now here's another question I feel compelled to answer. What about comparisons to By Kilian Angel Share? Yeah, definitely some people are saying there is a comparison between Angel Share and this one. I would say that there is actually. You know, it's not exactly like Angel Share because this one has every component but the boozy side of things, guys, okay? So Angel Share has the boozy component. This one does not. This one has a sweet spicy mix, much like Angel Share. And yes, this one has tobacco. Angel Share has tonka bean, which also has tobacco-like properties. So there is a similarity, but this one right here, I would say, is more on that maple syrup caramelized tobacco mix compared to the dry woody Angel Share mix. But definitely, of course, we're gonna see some comparisons because Angel Share also utilizes the note of cinnamon, so there's also that sweet spicy mix that this one has as well. Okay, now let's head into the mid of Smoking Hot. Now, how long does the apple last? The apple lasts up to 2 to 3 hours in this fragrance, guys. So you're gonna get a really long coverage of the apple cinnamon mix with that early appearance of the caramelized maple syrupy tobacco right here. Now, as we head into the mid, I would say like 2 to 3 hours in, guys, the apple is the first note to actually back away, guys. And then you're left with the cinnamon and the tobacco. And of course, the tobacco intensifies here in this mid, guys. Now, the mid note right here that adds an earthy and woody touch to this fragrance is going to be your oak moss, guys. And this actually happens, I would say, in the latter stages of the mid because really you'll still get to smell that sweet cinnamon spice with that maple syrupy tobacco. And then there is that transition that maybe we are all familiar with where that tobacco adds an earthiness, a woodiness into the mix, and that is care of the oak moss, again on the latter stages of this mid. Nothing new, a lot of us are familiar with that, where that sweetness kind of goes away and then it's going to be a heavier tobacco, a smokier, heavier tobacco with a woody, earthy mix. Now this mid right here of Smoking Hot, this one lasts the longest to me, up to the 8th hour of using this fragrance, guys. And as I've said, this is the part where tobacco really becomes the main actor, okay? Like the spotlight is really gonna be on that tobacco. You're still gonna get that caramelized tobacco though, but the smokiness, the power of that tobacco really strengthens during the mid. And of course, when you add the earthiness and woodiness of the oak moss, it's almost like lighting up the fire, guys, okay? It gets a lot more intensified, a lot more masculine, I would say, as the mid progresses with that mix. And again, this one lasts pretty long. Okay, now we head into the dry down, guys, and I'm sure that a lot of y'all are gonna be curious about this dry down, because on the dry down, guys, you are going to get the notes of vanilla and Orcanox. I mean, I'm trying to say that correctly. I'm not really sure. It could be Orcanox or Orcanox, but Orcanox, from my research, it seems like it is an ambroxan note. So I'm sure that got you guys pretty curious what that's gonna smell like. Let me give you guys some perspective on how that all fits with this fragrance right here. Now, first and foremost, this fragrance maintains sweetness throughout. From start to finish, there is a level of sweetness with Smoking Hot. However, it is that type of sweetness that is subtle and underlying and smooth. It's not really a loud, sweet fragrance, because you still have other actors like tobacco. You've got woody, earthy components, as well as a spicy component from that cinnamon right there. And so it's very, very seamless. And I would say that the vanilla right here is a dry, sweet vanilla. The vanilla transition in this case is very smooth and seamless. And as the tobacco turns into more of an earthier, woodier tobacco headed into the dry down, guys, the vanilla, which is dry and, you know, kind of woody into the mix, it kind of mixes in perfectly. I think that that's where the vanilla really comes in. Very seamless, continues the subtle sweetness of this fragrance right here. Now let's talk about that Orcanox right here. The Orcanox here basically adds a woody, musky edge to the dry down. So it's not really ambery. I would say that it's woody and musky headed into the dry down. A great gradient all the way to the end of Smoking Hot. That's really where the Orcanox fits right there. But of course, you're still gonna get that nice, dry, sweet vanilla with a woody edge headed into the dry down, caught by that Orcanox, guys. And so it is a gradient ending, of course, guys. I mean, no surprise given that this is a fall winter fragrance. Okay, now for my thoughts on this fragrance, and I hope I can belt this out before the thunderstorm comes in right here. We have a hurricane coming here in LA, guys. First and foremost, to me, this fragrance has a lot of usability. I mean, obviously, we can never have enough of tobacco scents, especially for the fall winter season. And if you're thinking about tobacco scents for whatever use that you have, this one has the same thing as well. And I think that in this fragrance, Kilian threw everything but the kitchen sink right here, guys. I mean, the only thing that was really missing was booziness, but they threw in everything: apple, cinnamon, tobacco, Orcanox, vanilla, everything that we know that's really good with fall winter fragrances, they threw it in right here. And so it did remind me of a comment that a subscriber told me. There was a subscriber that said, "Man, Troy, you scooped everyone on that review," you know, and that basically meant like you covered everything that most people wanted to know about the fragrance. Well, in this fragrance, Smoking Hot, I really felt like they tried to scoop everyone with this fragrance, you know, trying to get the gourmand lovers, the tobacco lovers, those that like sweet and spicy perfumes and woody perfumes. They try to scoop everyone with this. That's what I think, okay? It's not gonna be totally new, but when it comes to usability and being a fragrance that's a solid usability type of perfume for the fall winter season, this is a fragrance that is gonna be really solid. I would say that it will compete with fragrances like Herod from Parfums de Marly, or it compares to maybe Bond New Harlem to some degree, guys. And if you are into collecting a more dense collection, I know a lot of y'all are asking me about top 10s and such. I used to have a dense collection, and if you have a collection, you're limited to maybe 3 really solid bottles. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of them. Angel Share and this would kind of be okay. That would be it for fall winter for a lot of people. That is my suggestion. Now, of course, if you're used to wearing By Kilian fragrances for the fall winter season, usability wise, it's pretty much the same with this fragrance. I mean, this is gonna be a draw-in scent that's going to really bring in people, especially with that smoky central right there. But also this is for the mysterious enigmatic types that want the attention, but in a very smooth and subtle way. Not necessarily like one of those loud projectors where you're like, oh, everyone look at me, you know. This is not one of those. This is going to slowly seduce everyone in the room, much like other fall winter fragrances from this house, guys. Now, total performance on this fragrance lasts up to 12 hours, probably even more, because of that thick, sticky sweetness that this fragrance has that lasts up to 12 hours. But of course, on the 12 to maybe 13-hour mark, it's gonna be a skin scent, guys, okay? And I would say that this fragrance is really strong up to the 8th or 9th hour, and then it turns into a lingering draw-in scent past the 9th hour all the way to the 12th hour, where it kind of becomes a skin scent right there. And one thing I do really like is the coverage of each stage. So the apple cinnamon tobacco mix is up to 3 hours. That's quite a while, guys. And then the earthy tobacco cinnamon mix with a little bit of that vanilla goes from that point all the way up to the 12th hour. So I really like that kind of coverage. You're really not gonna get a lot of crazy transitions, more of the same. If you like the combos of this fragrance, you're gonna get a lot of coverage right here. Okay, now let's talk about the pricing, guys. By Kilian is definitely not cheap. This fragrance is not cheap. $290 for 50 ml. But like I said, this fragrance can be a staple. It's like a direct competitor to fragrances like, I would say, Herod or other tobacco scents or other By Kilian scents. Maybe you don't have Angel Share. Maybe you don't have Apple Brandy. Maybe you don't have Gold Night. This is a great addition to that mix, especially if you're all about usability, okay? This is gonna be a very usable perfume for the fall winter season, guys. And that is it. That is my review on By Kilian Smoking Hot. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance, if you got to sample it early like I did, guys. And again, please do not forget to hit up MD for any pre-orders. He's the manager of the By Kilian New York boutique. Thank you again, MD, for sending this over. And again, this is Troy D. Hope you guys love this review. I'll see you guys on the next one. Again, please do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys. Peace.